it going, everyone? Today I wanted to talk about probably the biggest failure point on the Saab 9.5. This is the older generation Saab 9.5 from 99 to 2009, all of them with this body style, specifically featuring the B235 motor. This is a 2004 9.5 Aero specifically, so it has the B235R motor, but as you can tell from the title, I want to talk about probably the biggest failure point on these cars, and then go ahead and show you how to replace it, because it's a very simple process. And pretty much what we're looking at right here, if you're a 9.5 owner watching this video, you already know what I'm talking about. The direct ignition cassette, which are pretty much the coil packs for the 9.5. So unlike the 9.3 and a lot of other cars, they don't have it. Well, they do technically still have individual coils for each cylinder, but it all comes in one big piece. So much like a lot of other cars, when their coil packs or their ignition cassettes start to go bad, is you'll start to experience a misfire, sometimes a rough idle. I was looking for other symptoms online, but those are really the two biggest ones. You might start notice it at first under hard acceleration, and it might slowly get worse over time. That's one thing I was reading specifically about the 9.5 and the DI cassette. I've even heard stories of people saying that these have completely failed on them and left them on the side of the road. So one thing that a lot of 9.5 owners joke about is that they always carry a spare one in the trunk because they're very easy to replace, and just in case that ever happens. Now, I don't want this to scare anyone away from a 9.5 or them to think that the DIC is a terrible part or that 9.5s are unreliable, because that's simply not true. One other thing I want to mention is people on their Saabs every now and then tend to cheap out on parts. And one thing you don't want to do is, well, in most parts at least on these cars, is do exactly that. Especially with parts like the DI cassette or on the 9.3s, just the coil packs in general. You don't want to buy Chinese knockoff versions of these that are like $40 as opposed to these, which I believe are around $300 for the OEM Saab. So as tempting as that may be, I and anyone else in a Saab Facebook group or forum would advise you against it, simply because you're probably going to end up replacing again very soon. You have to pay to play, so buy the right part so you're not replacing it again shortly after. But with that being said, let's go ahead, remove this, and I'll show you guys the part, and then we'll reinstall it. Really all that's holding it in, you have 4 T30s right here. And you can kind of lift it out, and you'll see that you have one electrical connector down here on the far end that you can just kind of pop out. You might need a flathead, but I didn't. And there's your DIC. So there you go. You can see on this one right here, it's labeled OEM Saab, the good stuff. So this car actually had it replaced. My dad wrote it on here. This is his car. Just about a year ago. So this one, I've heard that they go, I don't know. I don't want to say something and just believe what people say on Reddit or forums, but I've heard that these can start to go bad every 5 years, sometimes more. But as I said, if you have the spare funds, it might just be a good idea to invest in another one, or especially if you happen to wander across one at a junkyard. Just because, you know, you never know, and better safe than sorry. One thing that's kind of interesting I've noticed, if you put the DIC down here, you'll see that it's more elevated on one end as opposed to the other, and then if you look at the head, you'll see that it's lower down here and higher up here. If anyone knows why that is, obviously you can see all the individual coils are the same length, but I don't know why that is, so if anyone knows, please let me know. Just go ahead, get it in there roughly, and we'll reattach this connector over here. I should also mention that this DIC is not getting replaced. I don't know if I said that already, but it's not. This is still a functioning good DIC. So there you have it, guys. That is one of the most common failure points on the 9.5. I just figured I'd make a quick video kind of explaining it, as well as showing how to replace it, since it's so simple. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more 9.5 content, let me know what specifically down below, and I'll see you all next time.